Today we're keeping things super simple with dishes that only call for 3 ingredients at each stage. Starting with my baked Cornish game hens with an orange au balsamic glaze. Next to that, we're doing a hash of potatoes, spinach, and onions. And tying that all together with a refreshing salad of beets, goat cheese, and fennel. Haven't had your OJ today? You're about to. We're going to turn this kitchen into a citrus food spot. My name is Devon Vincent Bryan. I work for Residential Life and Housing. However, when I'm not in my office, I can be found in a market or a kitchen. I enjoy making dishes that are smart, simple, and shareable. Together, I know that we can turn your kitchen into a food spot. The Food Spot is sponsored in part by Big Y, a world-class market. I'm actually going to start with an ingredient for our salad. I'm going to wrap our beets, which I've topped and bottomed, in a piece of foil paper. Shiny side up. Why is that important? That's actually the most effective way to use foil. The shiny side reflects the heat from the oven onto whatever your protein or vegetable happens to be. I'm setting our oven at 350. I'm going to put 3 of these in there, and those will be in there for 25, maybe 30 minutes. While those start, I'm going to start on our hash, which just begins with potatoes, which I'm going to cube into small bite-sized pieces. I'm also going to add to our hash some pearl onions, which are going to cut the tops and bottoms off in half. Pearl onions, potatoes, sheet pan. Now we use a sheet pan because we want to have some color on our potatoes, and we want to make sure that they're all on one even level. If they stack up on each other, they tend to steam and they don't really become brown. And we're going to season with a little bit of oil. You can use extra virgin oil, you can use any kind of olive oil, any press. I'm using just a vegetable oil. Some black pepper. And because we're using rosemary in our chicken, I'm going to add some rosemary to our hash as well. And a bit of thyme. Woodsy, earthy flavors. Makes sense with chicken, and makes a lot of sense with game Cornish hens. Get that all tossed about. And I've increased our oven temperature to 350, then take it up again to 450 to these potatoes. Now we can move on to our glaze, which is really simple. How simple, you ask? There are 3 ingredients. 1, the rosemary I talked about. A condensed orange juice. If you don't have condensed orange juice, you can use a regular orange juice. I find this is a little sweeter and adds for a better glossy glaze texture. And I use about half a can to start with. You can always add more later. Some balsamic vinegar. Doesn't have to be expensive, doesn't have to be the good stuff. This is just making a glaze. And I try to equal the ratio of orange juice on balsamic. Mix together. Maybe a little more rosemary. Some black pepper. Hey, guess what? That's it. I'm gonna move this to the back counter, and I'll bring out our Cornish game hens. Okay, so here are our game hens. They're chicken, right? But they're just really small and cute. I think they're really special. They make you feel like you're important. You have a whole hen to yourself, right? And my guest today definitely likes to feel special. So this is definitely something up his alley. The first thing we're gonna do is a method called spatchcocking. Yes, take a moment to laugh. I said spatchcocking. I'm gonna write the word right here, spatchcocking. It really just means removing the backbone of the animal. So we're gonna flip it over. And whether we're using a knife or a pair of kitchen shears like I have here, you'll find the backbone, right? So in between the 2 wings, going up the center, and we're gonna cut down each side of that. And why do we do this? We do this so that we can really ensure that there's even cooking on this entire chicken. So while it's together, one side may cook more than the next, the bottom may cook faster than the top. If we remove the backbone and open it up, we have one flat cooking surface, and we're gonna season. Simply, some paprika. I like that not only just for the taste, but also for the color that it adds. Some poultry seasoning, completely optional, but the must-haves, salt and pepper. See all the spices that have fallen into my cutting board? Yep, we're gonna use those. We're gonna flip our chicken over, mop that all up. Nothing goes to waste. You'll also notice that my cutting board surface has changed from wood to plastic. And I always recommend that if you're working with chicken or any meats, you do that on a plastic cutting board. Wood is more so reserved for vegetables. To ensure that even cooking, I'm also going to move our game hens to a sheet tray that I've lined with a cookie rack. The cookie rack's there to ensure that all of the meat gets evenly heated. So there's heat going under, heat on top. A little bit of oil to ensure even browning. And we're off to the oven. So the chicken's been in the oven for about 20 minutes now. It's about 85% done. Here we're gonna start to baste it in our glaze. And once again, our glaze consisted of orange juice concentrate, about half the pack, some balsamic vinegar, again, half of a small bottle, and a bit of rosemary. So come on back and let's take a peek at our chicken. Yes. I like to baste it on the butterfly end first and finish skin side up. Nice presentation. It's like a gift to myself. So here we go with our baste. The heat is warming up the balsamic vinegar. You can smell the rosemary and the orange juice. I'm gonna put it back in the oven for the next 10 minutes or so while basting consistently. We'll keep checking in. So everything's been in the oven for about 40 minutes now. I have some spinach that I've picked through, washed and dried. I'm gonna roll that into our potatoes. I add the spinach at the end just so the heat of the oven and the heat of the potatoes cook it through. I'm gonna spread those all across the top. Add a bit of oil and allow that to wilt down. The piece de resistance, right? We're gonna finish this entire dish with a nice salad, and in there will be some blood tomatoes, blood oranges specifically. I'm gonna add some goat cheese and some beets that we started at the beginning of the program. Let's grab those. So we'll start with our blood oranges, and with anything, my recommendation is always to top and bottom your vegetables and fruits, particularly if they're round. Cutting just the rind off, being sure to leave the flesh intact, but remove all of the skin and all the white parts. Those are actually really bitter. Nice, cleaned up. A little bit of white bits here and there. Now we're just aiming for the segments of the orange. And so I'm actually going to try to go between each of these tiny membranes. Making V-shaped cuts. And pulling back the membrane as we go. These wonderful orange segments. Put those off to the side. Now our fennel. It smells a lot like licorice. I'm going to cut the tops off. I put these in stocks, chicken stock, at the base of a soup. These are really good, particularly the fennel fronds. Those are really good with fish. We'll do fish later. Cut the bottom off. It's really woodsy, hard. I'm going to cut it down the center. And then do my best to cut it as thinly as possible. There. Fennel done. We'll need about half of a bulb here. We're going to fold in some goat cheese at the end. But at the beginning of the program, we were working with some beets. I wrapped those in foil, threw them in the oven at 400, and gave them a chance to really roast. After you put them in the refrigerator just to chill, so we can handle it more easily. And it's a more solid consistency in our salad. So we're going to cut off the skin of the beet. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and grab our balsamic vinegar and some oil, and when we get back, we'll just toss this all together and our salad will be ready. Okay, so we've diced up our beets and we have our segments of orange. Let's just pull this all together. The bowl, again, I have some spicy arugula that's been washed and dried. We'll add our cheese. This is a goat's cheese. It's really creamy. I think it adds some texture and some depth. Our segments of orange. Bit of beet, and then a little bit of our fennel. A little bit of oil just to coat, and of course the balsamic we've been using today. And we'll toss. Our hash is ready. Just the heat of the oven has cooked it through. We just a touch more oil. Our chicken is definitely done. Definitely done. Our salad's ready. Let's go to our guest spot while I plate up.
Hi, my name is David Carey. This is my first semester here at Clark. I live here in Bullock on the first floor. I'm looking to study geography in possibly the urban development and social change discipline or specific area of study, whatever. My cooking experience on campus so far has been non-existent. I was planning on large spaghetti dinners every once in a while. Hasn't come to fruition yet, but I do enjoy the cat food. Yeah, there's copious amounts of food there whenever I want and unlimited supply.
And so here you have it. Again, our Cornish game hens were glazed with balsamic vinegar and a little bit of orange juice. I love the citrus flavor and the way the balsamic vinegar adds just a little cut of acid. You have some hash there, finished off with some spinach, and of course, can't have a homage to citrus without some blood orange in the salad. Give it a go. Let me know what you think.
Right. Let's go potatoes first.
I'm gonna go straight to the chicken actually. Yes.
Very good.
And that's definitely how I like my beef. Come on. You a dark meat person or a red meat?
I am a meat person.
Just generally the meat.
Yeah, and it's doing me well. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. On behalf of my guests, my crew, and myself, we wish you happy cooking, and even better, happy eating. Cheers.